Today, I'm not here to talk about dragons, magic, or million-dollar treasures. What I'm about to share is far more practical, a way to work efficiently without feeling like your brain is running on overheated mode. Don't worry, this isn't another one of those boring, work smarter, not harder lectures. I've tested, failed, learned, and most importantly, figured out what actually works. Before we dive in, let me set two things straight. Consider these as reliable as strong Wi-Fi at 2 a.m. First, it's ridiculously simple. No rocket science, no genius-level IQ required, just straightforward, easy-to-apply strategies. Second, it actually works. This isn't just some fluff advice, it's a set of principles that highly successful people follow. Now, to make this crystal clear, imagine you are the President of the United States. Sounds far-fetched? Stay with me. A president doesn't just sign executive orders and head to vacation homes. They run an entire country, juggling complex issues like the economy, foreign relations, national security, and internal policies. Their daily schedule is packed with meetings, reports, state visits, critical decisions, policy approvals, and handling emergencies. From the outside, we only see them giving speeches or attending grand events, but behind the scenes, they operate under a highly structured, intensely demanding workflow. So, how does a president manage all this without collapsing from exhaustion or drowning in an endless to-do list? They have a system. And trust me, this system isn't just for world leaders. You can apply it to your own work and daily life to stay productive without getting buried under deadlines. All right, no more small talk. Let's get straight into the formula that will help you optimize your work and life, so you can move fast without burning out. Now, before I reveal the secrets of high productivity, let me ask you a question. What do you think is the biggest enemy of getting things done? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Got an answer? Let's see if it matches mine. After years of observing myself and countless others, I've found that the biggest productivity killer isn't laziness or lack of motivation. It's something sneakier. It's what I call wandering time. Sounds weird? Let me explain. Wandering time is when a task should take only a few minutes, but because of distractions, hesitation, or aimless drifting, it stretches into hours. Here's a classic example. Let's say you go to the store just to buy a tube of toothpaste. A quick errand, right? Should take 10 minutes max, including parking. But then, you glance over at the clothing aisle. Oh, just a quick look. Then the fruit section. Might as well check out those apples. Then the skincare shelf. Oh wow, new face masks. 2 hours later, you finally walk out with 1 tube of toothpaste. This is wandering time. A task you thought would be fast somehow ate up an entire afternoon. It doesn't just happen in grocery stores. It happens at work too. Imagine you run an online shop and today's main task is taking product photos for Facebook. You need to snap 10 new items, about 6 to 7 pictures each, 20 minutes tops. But here's what actually happens. You take a few photos and think, these would look way better with some color adjustments. So, you download a new editing app. Then you realize, adding text to the images would make them pop. So, you spend time designing cool text overlays. Next, you think, what if I put a frame around these pictures? And down the rabbit hole you go. By the time you look up, 2 hours have disappeared, and you've barely got 3 or 4 finished images, while everything else on your to-do list is still waiting. You see, you'll never get much done in a day if you let wandering time take over. It makes us slow, unorganized, and constantly playing catch-up. So if you want to work efficiently, the first step is to eliminate wandering time completely. The sooner you recognize it, the more hours you'll save every single day. Ready to take control of your time? Let's dive into the next step, how to actually fix this and become insanely productive. Now, let me show you an incredibly simple yet highly effective way to beat the #1 productivity killer, wandering time. This bad habit has drained the efficiency of countless people, but don't worry, the fix is ridiculously easy. It only takes 2 steps. Estimate how much time you need for a task, then set a timer. When the alarm goes off, whether you're done or not, you stop. That's it. Sounds too simple? Just try it, and you'll see your productivity skyrocket. Tasks that used to take you all day will suddenly be done in just 30 to 45 minutes. Let's put this to the test with a real-life example. Imagine you're taking product photos for Facebook. Seems straightforward, right? But somehow it always turns into a never-ending cycle. First you take the photos, then you think, maybe I should adjust the colors. Then, adding text would make them stand out. Then, wait, what if I put a cool frame around them? Fast forward 2 hours, and you've barely finished a few pictures, while everything else on your to-do list has been pushed back. Now, if you had applied the timer method, you would have estimated how long the task should take, say 20 minutes for 10 products, set a 20-minute alarm, and focused solely on taking the photos. When the alarm goes off, you stop. If you want to edit, you set aside a separate time for that instead of letting it eat into the main task. This method works because when you give yourself a time limit, you're forced to focus on what truly matters instead of getting sidetracked by unnecessary details. Mark Zuckerberg once said, "Done is better than perfect." That means finishing the job first, then improving it later if needed. If you try to make everything perfect from the start, you'll waste time obsessing over small details and never finish anything. This doesn't just apply to work, it works for managing your free time too. Before opening Facebook, instead of mindlessly scrolling until you suddenly realize 2 hours have disappeared, decide in advance how long you'll allow yourself to browse, say 30 minutes, set a timer, and when it goes off, close the app and get back to work. You can even use this for breaks. If you have a 1-hour lunch break, clearly divide your time, 10 to 15 minutes for actual rest. No phone, no social media. Then, if you want, spend the remaining 45 minutes watching YouTube or TikTok guilt-free. Life becomes so much easier when you set time limits for everything: work, studying, even those painfully long meetings. Honestly, nothing drains my soul more than an aimless meeting where everyone starts off talking about work, then somehow ends up discussing world news, then the weather, then, oh look, an hour has passed and we've achieved nothing. So why not set a hard limit right from the start? Announce, this meeting will last no longer than 30 minutes. If you have something important to say it now. Everyone will get straight to the point, resolve the issue, and move on. Just like with product photography, get the job done and move on. No unnecessary distractions like color adjustments or fancy frames. When time is limited, people naturally prioritize what's important instead of wasting it on endless chatter. Now let's say you've estimated your time but run into this situation. You're in the zone, working hard, almost done, and then, bam, your timer goes off. Don't panic. You can extend your time a little, but only if you're genuinely close to finishing. Think of it like hitting snooze on your morning alarm, an extra 10 to 15 minutes if absolutely necessary. But here's the key. Don't use this as an excuse to be lazy. This trick is only for when you're nearly done and need just a little extra time. If you realize the task is still far from finished, don't force it. Stop and continue tomorrow instead of letting it bleed into other tasks. Never let task A eat into the time meant for task B. That's the golden rule of effective time management. By now, you see just how powerful this technique is. Once you start setting time limits, you'll never again feel like your day just vanished into thin air without getting anything done. And yes, this works for fun activities too. Picture this. You open Facebook intending to browse just for 15 minutes. But before you know it, 2 hours have vanished. If you had set a 30-minute timer from the start, you'd be much more aware of when it's time to stop. So don't wait. Try it now. Set a timer for everything. Work, play, meetings, breaks, and you'll see how much more productive your days become.